Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Well, I've had some requests for a TSNP update video, and since it's breaking out to new highs, I'm going to go over that price action and then maybe see where it might be going next. And then, as always, I have a few other nice tradable chart patterns that I want to show you guys, so make sure you stick around for that as well. Now, if you're new to my channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. Not only will I talk about the featured stock in the video, but I also try to present at least a couple other nice-looking tradable opportunities that are happening currently in the market. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any future trading ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. Alright, well, I didn't see any significant news on Tesaro Enterprises, so I'm just going to jump right into the charts. This is the daily chart of TSNP, and as we can see, we are currently at an all-time high. I wasn't sure if it had pulled back below the previous high, but it hasn't as of right now. It's still holding it. It was a little bit higher. It made it up to about 39 cents at one point. So a very nice move. If you can remember way back a few videos when I was talking about this consolidation right here, I talked about if we could get above that 8-period exponential moving average and find support at it, there was a very good chance that we could get catapulted to a new all-time high. And well, here we are. And I know that was kind of, I don't know, maybe tough to see when it was way down here, kind of going sideways, doing nothing. But you know, once you get used to how these chart patterns work, it's it's not guaranteed, but it gives you a pretty decent idea of where price could be going. And then you want to use these little breakouts to try to catch those next moves. But Tesaro Enterprises is super strong. Gapped up today, and it's still holding that gap. Now, where is it going to go next? If you had to ask me, I think we probably have a pullback coming. I know when the stock is strong like this, it could easily gap up again, but I think we got a pullback coming pretty soon. Number one, the volume is starting to taper off, so the buying is starting to dissipate just a little bit on the way up, even though this was a decent gap up. And as of right now, it is higher than yesterday's volume bar, and it's still intraday, so we're going to be higher than yesterday's bar. But volume is starting to taper off, unless it really pours in at the end of the day on today's trading action. But it's starting to taper off. Plus, we are getting extended from this 8-period exponential moving average, and this will also work as gravity when you get too far away from it. As we can see back in late November, early December, when it got too far extended from the 8-period exponential moving average, it had that quick snap back into it. And again, a few days later, had that big snap back into it. So don't be surprised if we get a pullback from here. It doesn't mean that the trend is over. It's just totally natural. And it's potentially a good buying opportunity. You want to see how well it holds it. You want to see if it's going to find some support at it and start to move up right off of it. And that will tell you that it's a decent buy signal. But if it crashes right through it immediately and can't get back above it pretty quickly, then you probably have a short-term top in place. But TSNP still looking super strong. Let's go intraday real quick just to take a look at today's price action. All right, well, I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart this time just because I want to focus more on just one day, and the 15-minute chart wouldn't be enough candles or price bars to get a good feel of it. But this is today's action. Let me zoom in a little bit here. But as we can see, it has tested the bottom of this gap up twice, and it has held, and now it is above the 8-period exponential moving average. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it ends near the high of the day, if it can hold this moving average, because chances are, if it can hold that moving average, you're probably going to get another strong move up, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it does close at a new all-time high. And if it does close at the all-time high, there's actually a very good chance we're going to get at least one more update. We're probably going to get some follow-through if it closes the day strong. So we might not get that pullback just yet if the price action gets strong into the end of the day. But TSNP made it to the all-time high, and As of right now, it doesn't look like it's slowing down as of yet. The only concern, of course, is it is extended pretty far away from that moving average. So just watch for a potential short-term pullback. If you guys are playing those swings, you know, I mean, that's something you definitely want to look for. But those are my current thoughts on TSNP. Let me show you some other chart patterns that are looking like they could have some nice potential gains coming up. All right, well, the first one I want to talk about is one I actually bought this morning. It's called Synthetic Biologics. I bought it at 93 cents. It looked like it was imminently going to break above this resistance area, and as soon as it looked like it was going to break out, it tucked its head back in. But this is still a super bullish pattern. I am anticipating a breakout. Like I said, with this morning's price action, it looks super strong, and so I wanted to jump the gun just a little bit early, but I'm still confident that this is probably going to work out for me, but it is a super bullish pattern. If this thing breaks out, it could start moving really fast. But Synthetic Biologics has this volume that is pouring into it, and if I back the chart out, you can see we have had a nice long base going all the way back to 2018. It did have a reverse split back in 2018, a 1-4-35 reverse split, but that was plenty long enough ago. It's not concerning to me in the least. Let's zoom in just a little bit better, but you can see this is a very nice looking pattern. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I love this pattern because it's very predictive. You know, you just watch for the price action to be putting pressure on the upper resistance area, and eventually, usually, you get a nice looking breakout. Every once in a while, they do fail, but this one is still looking super good, even though it hasn't broken out just yet. Let me go intraday real quick and show you a little bit of what I was seeing that made me buy the stock. All right, well, here is the 15-minute chart on SYN, and you can see that the lows were starting to rise. Momentum was building. You can see all the volume that was pouring in before, and we're getting these volume spikes in between here, so you know that there's accumulation still taking place. And we zoom in a little bit. I saw this price action going. You know, the lows kept shrinking up to this resistance area, kept climbing up into it, and I thought for sure the way it was moving and this volume was coming in, it was going to be breaking out. But that's why you want to wait for the breakouts. In this market, stocks have been moving so fast that, you know, if you've been trying to catch these things intraday, you know how hard it's been try to catch one of these breakouts before it gets too extended. But I'm still pretty confident this is going to work out because it's still a super bullish pattern. This is just a little hiccup. And if it can get closer to 95 by the end of the day, I think we could have a good chance of a breakout in the next couple of days or so. But let me back out just a little bit. I just want to show you how I want to play this stock. I'm going to risk all the way down to this previous low right here. So that's at about 60 cents. So I'm going to put my stop loss at 59 cents. So I'm risking quite a bit since I'm in it 93 cents. I'm risking over 30% on this trade. So when I want to take positions on these lower price stocks, I want to give them plenty of room to fluctuate because I don't want to get whipsawed out, you know, because they can have, you know, a 15-20% move down and then the next day be up 150%. So you don't want to get whipsawed out from these stocks, so you got to give them a little bit more wiggle room, and to compensate for that, you have to take smaller positions. Like stocks like these, you can't be putting half of your money in, because if one of these do get crushed, trying to make up that ground in your account can be super difficult. Like here, I'm probably going to risk about 33%, give or take. I haven't done the exact math on it. But just to put that into perspective, if you have a 33% loss in your account, it takes 50% on your next play just to get back to even. And a 50% move, you know, in some of these penny stocks, they are zooming, but a 50% move isn't super easy to come by. And if you do score a 50% move, you're only getting back to break even. So you have to protect your capital and you have to use good money management with these lower price stocks. I know when you do put half of your account into one of these penny stocks and they zoom, you can have a huge gain. So it's very compelling to want to over leverage yourself in some of these penny stocks, but you got to take good money management into account, because it only takes, if you get a huge gain in your account and you keep betting huge every single time, it only takes one to really wipe out your account. So you want to use smart money management and just not risk too much with these lower price stocks, because at least that's how I look at it. I don't want to risk too much, and I want to give them plenty of room to move around so I can take advantage of a move up. But this is how I'm going to play SYN. I'm risking down to 59 cents, and my price target should easily be able to take out, I shouldn't say easily, but it's very possible for it to take out $2. Let me go back to the daily chart real quick. All right, well, jumping back to the daily chart, I think it's very possible that we could take out this old high if it gets going again, because this stock can really get moving when enough volume comes pouring into it. So I could easily see it blasting past this old high and jumping over $2. So my risk reward on this is well over two times what I am where I've bought it at, and I'm risking 33%. So as long as I keep my risk reward balance just like that, eventually after many trades, this risk reward is going to carry my account into profitability and control my risk. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know if I touch base on that enough, where I put my stop losses at and what my targets are. But I expect a new high over 175 once this gets going, and I'm going to risk down to 59 cents. But let's get into the next one. All right, the first one I want to show you guys is Tonix Pharmaceuticals Holding Corporation, ticker symbol TNXP. This one is forming a nice rounding bottom at the moment. It's jumped above the 8-period exponential moving average, and it looks like a new high, or a new recent high, could be imminent. It's putting a lot of pressure on this resistance area. Right now it's trading just barely over $1 a share, but you see all this big volume that has been pouring into the stock, and it's continuing to go sideways. So in my opinion, this is just like a ticking time bomb once you start getting all this accumulation and this continued sideways action. But you notice at the other side of this pattern, which starts to round up, and that's telling you that supply is drying up, and accumulation is still being done. You notice how it's choppy through here, and then you kind of get like the explosion up, and it kind of chop sideways, another explosion up. There's not really a whole lot of momentum being built. But, you probably had some news that came out that made people want to jump into this stock real quickly. But now you can actually see that momentum is starting to build. And this is laying the foundation for a stock that could have a sustainable uptrend, and not just one of these little explosions up and then, tapers off into nowhere. But TNXP still looking super good. Let's go intraday really quick before I jump on to the next one. All right, well, I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart on TNXP, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. But as we can see, we are having a very nice triangle consolidation that is starting to play out. This one's a little choppy. Of course, when the stocks are under $1, they're going to be a little sloppier, a little bit more chop to them. But it's still, once you draw the lines on it, you can still see that formation quite clearly. So this is a very bullish looking pattern. You can see the lows are starting to rise up into this resistance, and it's starting to put pressure. I know if you are familiar with my channel, I talk about this all the time, but this pattern works so well, and practice makes perfect. Repetition, 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 and then you'll notice the difference in your trading account. But TNXP, it just looks like it is. It looks like a breakout is imminent, and I could have easily taken a position in this one as well, because this pattern looks very similar to SYN as far as getting ready to break out. But TNXP, definitely worth keeping an eye on. Let's get to the next one. All right, the next one I want to talk about is Fluidium FLDM. You know what? I am illiterate. Let's just call it FLDM. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that company name, but yeah, that one's a difficult one to say. You know, way back in the day, I was a traveling encyclopedia salesman for a very brief time, back when people actually bought those things still. Now everything's on the internet, but trust me, you ain't got to be able to read them to sell them. But anyway, FLDM is making a very nice pattern at the moment. It found support earlier, actually yesterday, at the 200 period simple moving average, and today it is gapping up on a COVID saliva test. I guess positive news on that they'll be able to sell a saliva test for COVID, and it's gapping up on that news, and it's holding that gap. But if I back out just a little bit, we can see why I like this pattern so much. Number one, of course, it's finding support at that 200 period simple moving average. You got this support line that goes all the way back to last year. And also it is making that nice triangle consolidation, and it is breaking out to the upside right now. So I'm guessing the way this pattern is working out, it looks like the next move is probably going to be up. Now, why does this pattern look bullish, versus this shooting star that it had way back in August? And I don't know if you ever bought a shooting star before, but that really sucks the next day when it gaps down huge and you're the only person left at the top of the mountain here. But this looks kind of like a shooting star at the moment, but this stock was going straight up since the pandemic lows. So, I mean, everybody is probably looking for a potential time to sell. So the stock was overextended here. Now it is making a nice triangle consolidation. It's finding support at this level right here, plus the 200 period simple moving average is there, and we got a news catalyst. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if FLDM starts finding some momentum, especially if there's some real substance. I haven't looked too much into that COVID test, but it seems like that is probably going to be big for at least a year. Companies that come out with a easy, fast, reliable COVID test. It should be a nice form of good revenue coming into these companies, at least for, I would say, at least 12 months. Who knows how long, this is going to drag on. But as far as the pattern goes, it's a very nice bullish breakout, and we do have that news catalyst. So what I am interested at this point, let me zoom in a little bit here. What I would really like to see, even though, it's a little subjective where to put your lines. I like to put my lines where there is the most touches. I would like to see it come down and kiss this trend line and then start to move back up before I got super interested. But today, with that positive news, it's super tempting to just jump in right now. And I'm actually considering that, but I'm not in it just yet. But FLDM, I think it has the perfect storm of a good catalyst happening right now. So get some follow through on that news. Could be a nice uptrending stock for at least several weeks. But FLDM, very nice looking pattern. Let's get to the next one. All right, the last one I want to talk about is WidePoint Corporation, ticker symbol WYY. I talked about this one in yesterday's videos. The guys from the Patreon actually came up with this one, so they picked a very nice looking pattern, and this thing is exploding to the upside. You can see we got this nice triangle consolidation. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Got the nice triangle consolidation, putting pressure on that resistance area, and we have the explosion through it today. And it's up over 15% on the day. Let me get this stuff out of here real quick. But we can see that it came down to this 8-period exponential moving average. The next day, it closed higher than the last day, so that was a hold of that moving average. And as it continues to hold, that's when pressure is building up. And then sometimes you get this big move through the resistance area, and that's exactly what we are looking for. So just an absolutely beautiful pattern that they found. Let's go intraday real quick and examine the takeoff. But if you go to the intraday chart, and this one is the 15-minute chart, you can start to see how the pattern starts to form a little clearer. It starts to round up, and then it finds puts pressure on that upper resistance area, and then you got the explosion through, pulled back down near the 8-period exponential moving average, and it is holding it. So the trend is still very healthy. It could just be getting started. I know that's a big update today, but it could just be getting started because this is a very healthy looking rounded bottom breakout formation when you go intraday, and plenty of nice volume coming into accompany that breakout. So very nice looking pattern, very good find for the guys in the Patreon group. I owe them one for showing me this one, but awesome looking chart pattern so far, and it's working out well. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this one, but if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, please don't hesitate to leave them down there in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss any future trading opportunities. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.